Hi, guys. Very good evening to everyone present here. I hope you guys are able to hear me. We have a small regret saying that as of now, the portal doesn't have a chat option, but it's fine. I'm going to try it little different if I'm audible or not. Guys, just switch on your video and switch off your video if I'm audible and everything if it is good for this evening. You can just split off seconds also. Arun sir? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. That was really cool. Yeah, that is better. Thank you so much. So today is an evening. It's a special Saturday, and walking towards how we are supporting each and everyone online and sitting at home. We are here to go through and technological change, which most of you are new. You guys will be wondering what is full stack and all. So basically, this is like the highest paid kind of entry level for a technical person. So the drastical change in the economy has brought a lot of differences, the technology, the AIs, the quantum theory, everything. So here we have our chief guest, and I'm happy to announce that that is Mr. Arun sir, who is our founder. So Arun sir, welcome and thank you so much for this session, sir.
Thank you, Buddha.
So,
Okay, thanks for that.
it is like you guys will definitely know what is full stack, and Arun sir is one of the best tech teachers that we have ever seen. And this session definitely is going to help you technically as well as personal intentions of pursuing technical knowledge or anything that you're going to take it forward as a software developer. So I hope you guys already know what Gooby is and what Gooby does. So obviously we are taking care of a lot of multiple products, and our primary businesses, like we provide full stack training to students, candidates, or it can be even working employees. So we have Arun sir, who is the founder and COO of Gooby, and he has taken the first step towards making Gooby as a company. And we had our co-founders who enormously played a vital role here. And today we have this session. You guys will definitely come to know what entirely full stack is, why one should go for a full stack. So over to you, sir. Arun sir.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, Buddha. Let me share my screen and get it started. Okay, yeah. I hope my screen is visible to all of you guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Hey guys, before getting into this one, probably I'll get started with how I became a programmer because that might be useful for some of the people. Because the crowd is of varying categories. I see people who is beginning in programming. There are some people who are the intermediate level as well. So I try to address both of them. Okay, then let's progress further with any questions or any comments from you guys. Okay, uh, the first thing is like when I graduated, not graduate, for example, when I came out of my school, I was from biology group. Okay, so one of the common fears when you get into computer science from another non-computer science stream is generally we get scared of anything which is related to computers. Forget about programming. Okay, so anything which is related to computer is always a scary thing. That's how it was for me. I mean, if you look at the current generation, they live with the tech. Okay, the kids, they play around with basic thing. For example, I have seen kids who's using Python to uh, uh, play games. Okay, so not develop games, just to play games. Okay, so I know one of the guys in one of the games, the job is to click some bubbles or something which is popping up. So he has written an auto clicker. So he'll run the auto clicker and he'll set it'll click all the bubbles in that randomly, and then he'll get a score. So this is the current generation kid, but the school kids, I'm saying, not even college kids. Whatever I'm mentioning, school kids, somewhere around fifth to sixth grade. Okay, kids. But the previous generation was a little slightly hesitant towards programming. the one which I was from was like completely scared of programming. Okay, so I had no clue of programming, coming from a bio background, so a biomax. So here we call that as a biomax. So it depends on the state to state, it differs, but ultimately it's a non-computer science background. So as like every Indian parents, my parents wanted to be me to be a doctor, which I literally hated from the first, but I didn't have a choice. So I was forced into the particular stream in the plus one and plus two, which is like your 12th, 11th and 12th grade. I graduated with a decent score, and then I got into computer science. Again, choosing, I mean, information technology was not my choice. One of my cousin who was in US at the time, so he got a job. He finished engineering, and then he went to US. So naturally, you know my reaction of the parents. So I was forced to get into information technology, which initially I hated it because I wanted to get into some other stream, which is not computer science. Okay, but after getting into the computer science, first year it was common to all. Like I don't know about other states, in Tamil Nadu, it is common to all. So you are asked to sit with every other stream fellows, like EC department, Triple E department, mechanical, all the things would be in the first year. So one of my friend in my bench was like, he was from electronics department, but that fellow didn't know a little bit about computer science. And the same way, there is one more guy in my same desk. So he is from computer science in 12th standard. So the computer science guy used to put a lot of scene or build up, whatever you call it. It's like saying, so he is the rock star of the day. I mean, all the days he would be. He'll try to kind of degrade others, not directly, but in indirect way. So that was little irritating for me at that time. Okay, so I didn't know how to do it. So I asked one of my the other friend, like saying that, Macha, can you help me in solving something in computer science? He said that, hey, for that you should know learn programming. So being from a middle class family, getting a, I mean, now laptop is a basic need. So at the time, getting a computer was a little harder for me. So I said, I don't have a computer at home. What should I do? He said that for learning programming, you don't need computers. So literally, I couldn't understand his words because whatever before that day, I was believing that without computer, you can't learn anything related to computer. That's how it is, right? For example, if you want to go to chemistry, you have to have the pipette and burettes and other chemicals. The same way, I thought like computers are must have. Okay, but he said that it is not needed. So that is where I was little wonder, and that's like, how should I do programming? He said that take a paper, write a program, which I say he taught me a little bit of C programming for around 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, the syntax part of it. Then he said that this is how you should program. So it all started with basic programs like A plus B, addition of numbers, division of numbers, those kind of basic programs. So he taught me for a week. After that, he asked me to, he used to give, at the end of the day, after while we are returning to home, he used to give a task saying that, hey, tomorrow you write a program on this. So my job is to go on in the evening or in the night, somewhere I find half an hour time, not much time. So because I have other interests as well. So I used to write some program and then go to him, and he will be acting as a compiler. Okay, he is my compiler, he is my computer. So he used to correct those things and say that, hey, this will not work. Then I'll ask how, why. So he'll explain those things. So he's like a talking compiler to me. Okay, he doesn't throw error. He'll just tell what the error is. So that was a beautiful part of my life. Actually, I didn't know that at that time. Okay, so I used to get angry on him and say that whatever I did, you are going to tell some error. So why should I write? He said, don't worry, it will get easier as you go. So first 10 days it was like that. Then after that, he told me like, he told me how he was evaluating the things. So he used to give inputs. Let's say, let me take a simplest example, like addition of two numbers. So in the scanf, you give two numbers. So A will go, 10 will go here, the 20 will go this the other side. Like that, he used to explain. Then when I got understanding of the basic thing, I was able to act as my own compiler. Okay, this is how I started learning programming. The reason why I'm saying this is like this is one of the important thing for any developer. So at the time, this helped me to visualize things. Though the program was very basic programs like a greatest of three numbers or array of sum of array numbers in an array, those kind of basic programs, but it helped me to visualize. Okay, so one of the basic ingredients for a developer is visualization. You should be able to visualize your code. Second thing is you should be able to communicate what you think. Okay, the communication might be in different ways. It could be verbal, it could be written, it could be what forum, chat, all those things. So first start with some verbal communication. Always ask questions. Don't hesitate to ask questions wherever it is. But as you go into a professional environment, which is a company, so they expect you to have a little bit of written communication as well. So you don't need to be writing an expert mail kind of it, but write a decent amount of mails. Okay, I have seen developers, freshers, who's writing you mail. I mean, all the content in the subject itself. Okay, that is not acceptable at any means. So they'll write the entire query in the comment and they'll send it. Okay, so those are the small nuances as a developer you should develop. You don't need to write an essay. You're not a scholar, English scholar. I understand that. Okay, but these two are basic essential qualities for a developer. You should be able to visualize your code. You should be able to communicate what you have done. Okay, these two things are very, very important, and no matter which level you are or what you are, you should be able to do it. You learn data structures, you learn dynamic programming, it doesn't matter. So you should be able to visualize the tree. Okay, your code tree or the symbol tree, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that should come upfront in your eyes. So it is not a one-day task. It takes some time. For example, for me it took around 2 months. Okay, so give yourself the same time. Don't beat yourself. Okay, that is another thing where generally people give a lot of advice. Unfortunately, they don't tell the timeline. Okay, when you don't tell the timeline, okay, what happens is people assume that I am slow or I am super good. Okay, the getting into the median is always less. The people go in the either side of the road is higher. Okay, either they assume that I am not good for programming because I couldn't visualize in 2 days. Okay, or they'll believe that I have written a small program, I can visualize anything. So this is a nature of human being. So try to give your time little bit of space for yourself, probably somewhere around 2 to 3 weeks to 2 months. Okay, it could be, if you are super smart, you can do it in 3 weeks. Okay, assuming you are beginning from today. Okay, so if you are beginning from today, 3 weeks should be good enough for you to visualize any decent level of code. Okay, I'm not talking about the super uh, algorithms, all those things. So the basic programming which is needed for any development work should be able to be you should be able to visualize within 3 weeks. Okay, if you are a smart guy, let's assume you are new to it. First you are learning syntax and other things. The first 3 weeks would go on the syntax fixing itself. Okay, sometimes 4 weeks may also go on. So after that, you will start visualizing it. Okay, so it goes up to 2 months. So this period is a crucial period which helps you to believe that you can be a programmer or not. Okay, you can become a full stack developer, you can become a mobile developer, you can become a DevOps guy, you can become anything. Okay, or even a data science thing, or a data scientist, all those things. But the first 3 weeks where you believe is the most crucial stuff. Okay, so try to trust yourself and take a guide. Okay, so for me, my friend was a guide. If you are lucky enough to get a friend, yes, that is the best thing in the world which you can get it. Okay, so no matter how much you annoy him, he or she will be supporting you. Okay, that is the curse of being your friend. Okay, so that, try to find that guy. Okay, or that girl, whoever is. Okay, so that is the starting point which I believe you can drive yourself into any development career path. This is my first part of my journey. The second part of my journey is like, so I learned C++ and C. Okay, I used to hate C++. C was my favorite language. I used to hate Java, other languages, any other language. C was my only favorite language for a long time. Okay, but after I get into my first job, which is Honeywell, I started respecting C++ a lot. Okay, when you write a large, scalable, modular systems, you need to have some patterns. Okay, to organize your code. In that, C++ helped me a lot. Okay, so typical object orientation, other thing. There are different styles of writing the code. So in my career, I started with object orientation. So I loved object. First, initially, I hated object orientation because, for example, in C, if you want to write a small program of addition of two numbers, you do a plus b and then you print it, store it in C and print it. If the same thing, if you are doing in C++, according to the traditional textbooks, you have to write a constructor, you have to write a destructor, you have to write a getter, setter, and then you have to do a function which calls add, and you have to create an object. So literally for two small one line of code, you have to write supporting 10 lines of code. Okay, that used to be a little annoying thing when I started C++. Then later when I started writing large scalable things, I started respecting these patterns. Object orientation is one of the coding patterns. And when I say coding pattern, so coding paradigms. Okay, so there are other paradigms like functional. Okay, so there are different paradigms. So right now the two popular paradigms are OOPS and functional. You can pick anything of your choice. It doesn't matter. Okay, so everything has its own plus and minus. So I started with OOPS pattern. Okay, so I started loving it, and I started falling in love for a long time, around 7 years. I was completely into C++. Okay, then I joined a startup. So before that, I was in big companies where I was having a lot of good things. Okay, uh, but after joining a startup, the life was completely different. Okay, so generally in a bigger company where I work like Honeywell, my team size itself would be around 10 people or 15 people. I used to lead a team. But in the startup, the total team size is itself 7. So at first I couldn't digest that part. Okay. And another hard part is like in bigger companies, if you go beyond a level, you will be mostly off from the code. Okay. But in the startup, the guy who was the founder or the guy who was sitting as a MD, he was also sitting as a technical person. He was doing the code and he was doing the analysis with us. That was a complete shocker. Okay, that I liked a lot because if everybody is a geek, your life would be fun. Okay, so in the startup, it completely changed my perspective. First, in terms of my behavior. Okay, the second real help which I got it from that startup is so they had multiple languages used in the same company. Before that, I used to call myself as a proudly as a VC++ programmer. Because that was one of the hardest things. So naturally, the developer arrogance would be there, right? So I used to call myself, hey, I am a VC++ guy, like that, lifting your collar and then you show off, right? So that was invariably I had it. But after getting into the startup, they were using multiple languages, all languages. You name any languages, it will be there. So one component would be written in one language, another component would be written in another language. They used Perl, Java, .NET, C++, all the Python, you name it, everything was there. So initially I was pretty confused. One day I sat with my architect and I was asking, hey, generally people used to use only one language, right? Why do you use multiple languages? Is it not bad? As a developer, I have to learn multiple languages. Is it not hard? Okay, well, that was my question. Okay, so the architect, he gave a answer. He didn't tell the answer. He said that, hey, tomorrow anyhow we are going for a team lunch. At the time I'll explain. Okay, so we went for the lunch. So we started with the dinner. He was sitting next to me. Sorry, lunch. He was sitting next to me. So he said that, hey, now you are going to get the soup. Okay, you have two different spoons, three different spoons basically. So which one you are going to pick? I said, obviously the soup spoon I'm going to pick it. So why you're not using fork? That is also used for picking, right? Huh? Hey, I told my architect, hey, don't be stupid. How can you drink a soup in with a fork? Okay. Then do you remember your yesterday's question? Yes, I remember. So try to correlate that. He didn't give a direct answer. He said that try to correlate that. So that is the time I realized two things. One is as a developer, as a VC++ developer, I was constraining myself to a certain things. I was not expanding my view for all the stuffs. Which what it means is like I was not learning the other parts of the world. Okay. Basically, when you learn one language, you can jump into other language like just like that. So it's like driving one bike and moving into another bike. If you know how to drive one bike, you should be able to drive other bike. There will be hiccups depending upon the settings, but you should be able to drive. Okay. So this was a revelation for me. Okay. Then he said that use right tools for right things. So don't put your constraint into the development. For example, since because you know some language, since because you like some language, don't put your constraint into the game. So try to do which is right for the company. Okay. So these two words still resonate to me. So in GUI we follow that. Like so in GUI we use multiple languages. Okay, starting from PHP, Node.js, Golang. Okay, Rust. No, Rust we are trying it. Like we are like that. We have multiple languages. So we don't constrain anybody to one language. So as a developer, he should be able to explore a lot of things depending upon the use case. It is not one size fits for all. Okay, this phrase you are familiar with, right? The same thing, not one language can serve everything. So there are some piece of code where it needs different capabilities. So the same thing we applied. So remember, these are the things which I learned in my life. Okay. So one is learning a language is not a hard. Okay, it is easy, but you have to visualize. Second thing is, okay, you learned one language. Don't restrict yourself to one language or one technology or one framework. It is good to be specialized in that, but that specialization should not block you from learning others. Okay, as a developer, these two are the most important principles which I follow till date. Okay, you put in anything, I'll be able to come out. The reason is because I follow this two basic items as a developer. Okay, so with this, let me jump into full stack development. So I already introduced myself. So the agenda is, first let me talk what full stack development is, and let me explain what is mean stack, MERN stack, what are they, why it is needed, why it is important. Okay, so after understanding why, let's go into the skills which is needed for full stack development. Okay, and where it is applied. Okay, where to get started. Okay, what is the job situation in this thing. So these are the things which I'm going to cover. So I hope I should be able to answer most of your questions in this. If I'm not answering, feel free to post the questions. Okay. Okay, this is the search for full stack developer. All of a sudden, it started rising. Okay, uh, long when I started, so the word full stack development is not there. Okay, we used to call that as a web developer. We used to call them as a front end guy, back end guy, or a middleware person. We used to have three different person, not only three. We used to have four. One guy as a database administrator or database developer. Okay, four roles is ideally it used to be there. So right now the middleware is gone completely. Nobody cares about it, which I'll explain in detail. So right now, all these things are combined into one word called full stack. Okay, uh, that is because there are two reasons. One is a business reason, another one is capability reason. Okay, so with this, I'll go on to the next slide. So full stack is nothing but your old wine in a new bottle. The old wine is your web development, which we used to do it for a long time. Okay, I started my web development in C. Don't get surprised because there are people who used to develop the servers in C and even in Perl. Okay, so I'm little that old. Okay, nowadays nobody cares about that. Okay, so where it is used, these are the straightforward strings which you should be familiar with. Like this is not, and none of these names are new to you. Okay, in top there are a lot of apps. In bottom we have websites which right now everybody is into that. Okay, the only source of entertainment for us is the guys who is in the bottom. Okay, let's take simple example. Okay, and then try to explain. Okay, generally when you order something, okay, So these are some of the things which you need to do it. For example, you need a display of cards, okay, different foods in different cards in the where you swipe and then pick it. So when you click it, it gets to the card, and after that you do billing and the location delivery, all those things, straightforward stuff. Okay, so in this, let's try to classify in the with respect to full stack development. As I said, right, we have front end, we have database, we have back end. Okay, so ideally the database should come, I mean, if you want to visualize, the database will come behind the back end. Okay, the front end is what you see it. For example, the front end is your mobile app. Okay, or the front end is a web app. Okay, you build a website, for example, GUI website. So whatever you see in the GUI website, that's a front end. Okay, if you see go to GUI mobile app, that is a front end. So that one which the user interacts with the system is called front end, as the name says. It is a front part of it. Okay, in this case, like these are the stuffs. So the display cards, card billing, all those things. Okay, and the database is nothing but it holds your data. For example, when you order some food, okay, or what are the available foods, what is the cost, okay, which stores are open, okay, who is the delivery executive, what are the user list, okay, all those things would be stored in somewhere. Okay, that somewhere is called database. There are a lot of popular database which is out there. Okay, Oracle, MySQL, MS SQL Server, lot of databases are MongoDB. Okay, there are a number of databases are available. Okay, so all those things which help you to store data, like how you store in your Excel file or your Notepad or Node, simple text file. Okay, instead of storing in the simple text file or Excel file, we'll store in the database. Why not we use a text file? It is little hard to search when you have millions of records. Okay, so the number of components which gets added exponentially will spoil your text file or your Excel file. You will not be able to open and search. For that, there are some specialized application which is called database. That's it. It's very simple. Okay, and backend. What is backend? Backend is where you write all your logic. Okay, you write something which is like, for example, when somebody enters a code, you need to give a discount, you need to create a bill, you need to assign a delivery person. Okay, you need to send orders to the hotel. Okay, then you need to match the location with the particular available delivery boys. When I say location tracking, not the tracking part, it is location matching. Okay, so these are three major parts you see in any app. Okay, so first is what you see, second is where you store, third is the logic part, where what is business logic. For example, if you look into GUI's perspective, so all the courses display, all the compiler, everything what you write, everything will come in the front end. And databases, like for example, when you compile a program and it compiles successfully, tomorrow when you come back, we have to say that you already completed it. So that data would be stored in database, and you have scored these many points. That will be stored in database. Okay, and when it comes to backend, so when you compile a code or when you watch a video, okay, I have to do certain things, right? Or ask question, or I have to compile the code. Those kind of backend logic will come in. Okay, the same thing you can apply it for all the things, Uber, Prime, whatever it is. Okay, so let me dive a little bit more into the stuff. Okay, so typically in the full stack web development, okay, the front end is nothing but what you see as a website. Okay, so any browser you use it, Firefox, Brave, DuckDuckGo, Chrome, IE, whatever it is. So whatever you see in the browser is called front end. Okay, so typically it consists of three parts: HTML, CS, and JavaScript. That's all. Okay, and backend has two elements. One is your server or backend logic, which I said. Another one is a database. Okay, the database could be a SQL database. It could be a NoSQL database. Right now, I'm not going into getting into the subsections. So I'm just showing what it is. So whenever, let's say you click login, okay, in GUI, okay, it goes to the server. The server, what happens? It goes to the database. Hey, do you know Arun Prakash? Is this his password? Okay, if it is there, give it to me. So this server will ask the database. The database will give some username and password, which I have stored earlier, and the backend logic will match these two items. Very simple, equal to these two items. If it is there, yes, I'm in. Okay, that's all. So this is a holistic view of any full stack app. Okay, you can remove the front end app and in the front end app you can remove it and replace it with the mobile app. The same story goes. Okay, there is no difference. Okay, so typically in the server side you can write in any language. For example, you can write in Python. So if you are familiar with Python, you can write it. If you are familiar with JavaScript, you can write in Node.js. If you are familiar with PHP, write it. Java, ASP.NET, you name any language. That's what I said, all the languages, right? Any language in the world you pick it, you will be able to write something, because all the languages have a web server support and you can start writing for it. Golang, Rust, okay, you name any language, that will come in the server part. And when it comes to database, the database has two categories. One is SQL, another one is NoSQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Okay, so in that the popular things are like MS SQL Server, or MS Oracle, MySQL. MySQL is a free and open source thing, and Postgres is another open source stuff. All works in the same way. Think like all are cars. Okay, no matter which car you drive it doesn't matter. Okay, the same way there is NoSQL. MongoDB, Bigtable, CouchDB, those are the things. In that, MongoDB is one of the popular guys right now. Okay, so it doesn't discount others. Okay, he is a rock star as of now. Okay, so typically when I used to start developing for web apps, okay, this is how the team would be. Okay, and still it exists as well. I'm not saying this. I'm not discounting the thing. Okay, so you are a front end developer, you are a back end developer, you are a database administrator or a database. Sometimes people companies call in different way. Okay, so these are the three roles which people have it. Okay, so every front end team will ask something on the back end team, and the back end team will ask the database team to write a query, optimize the query, all those things, and that's how they interact. Okay, but in the current scenario, we have combined all the three things into a single guy as a ninja guy. So right now everybody is looking for the ninja developer. So instead of giving 3 lakhs or 2 lakhs to all the people, you combined everything and put it into 6 lakhs to 21 lakhs or whatever lakhs. Our highest is 21 lakhs. We have seen people getting more than that as well. Okay, in Zen class, the highest package is around 21 lakh. One of the guys got it. Okay, even a couple of months back, 1.5 months or 2 months back, one guy got 17 lakhs. Okay, but on an average, people get around 3 to 6. Okay, depending upon the skill set and other things. Okay, so in this you are expected to learn everything. Okay, like how we expect the kids to do good in studies, they have to be good in sports, they have to be good in extracurricular. The same way the expectation is raised for you guys as well, unfortunately or fortunately. So if you ask me whether it's a good or bad, in my view it is good, because I get to taste all the things. As a developer, I am always hungry. Okay, so I want to learn more things. Okay, probably at the initial stage it might look daunting. Okay, but it is the best thing as a developer, because I have the full control of it. So as a developer, when you have the control of the things from end to end, so your delivery becomes efficient and your code quality is also good, because you can't blame someone else, right? Hey, I haven't written the code, this guy is code, I can't do it. So now there is no front end, you guys are the front end guy, you are the back end guy, you are the database guy. So when there is a mistake, you go and fix it. Okay, so the ownership and accountability becomes higher as a full stack developer. Since the ownership and accountability is higher, the salary package also gets higher. As simple as that. Okay, all are straightforward business equations. Okay, so what are the challenges? So now the challenge is, okay, we understood that we need to be a front end, we need to be a back end, we need to learn database. Okay, if that is the case, what does this mean and MERN stack is the next question. Okay, so in JavaScript, generally in front end, so I said, right, in front end there are only three parts: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So in the front end, there are some popular frameworks. Okay, one is AngularJS, another one is React.js. Okay, right now another thing which is coming up is Vue.js. Okay, there used to be Knockout and Backbone, but right now the top contenders are Angular, React, and Vue. Okay, in the back end, Node is the right now popular guy. Probably future somebody will come. Node is nothing but your JavaScript only. Okay, and in the database category, MongoDB, MySQL is popular. Even Postgres is also popular. Okay, So these three are the contenders in that. So in that, what mean stands for is M for MongoDB, which is the database. Okay, E for Express.js, which is the middleware. Okay, A is for Angular, which is the front end. Okay, N is the for Node, which is the back end. The same way in the MERN, so M is MongoDB, E is Express, R is React. Instead of Angular, it is React. N is for Node. That's all. Okay. So these are the two variations. So which bike you want to pick it's your choice. Whether you want to pick Duke or you want to pick BMW, that is your choice. Okay. So I'm not claiming which is BMW, which is Duke. Okay. You can either pick MERN or mean or MERN. That is on the go. You will get it. Like you can get that consultation from people. Okay. So let's dive a little bit deep technically into the front end part. So as I said, in the front end, we have three parts, right? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's what I said. Okay. The HTML gives a structure of the page. For example, think like it's your bone. Okay. CSS is your skin tone or your dress or your makeup, all those stuff. JavaScript is your life. Okay. So these are the three parts. It gives the interactivity. Okay. So when somebody says HTML, everybody right now it is assumed to be HTML5. Somebody says CSS, it is assumed to be CSS3. Okay. Or sometimes people specifically say SAS. Okay. It is a kind of variation of CSS. Think like that. Okay. And JavaScript, you have jQuery, but it is not needed to be perfectly aligned to it. You have other flavors as well. And all these things combined, we have something called Bootstrap. Okay, Bootstrap is a responsive web development framework, RWD. Okay, it is created by Twitter and it is open source right now. There are other alternatives as well, but in general, people use Bootstrap. Okay, there are other things like Foundation and other Material, all those things are there, but in that popular contender is Bootstrap. Okay, and combining all those things, we have Angular and React and Vue. These are the three guys. Okay, when somebody says front end, you have to know this combination. Okay, as a front end developer, you learn all those things. So how to develop a responsive web design page. When I say what is mean by responsive is another question which you might get it. Nowadays, people use different sizes of displays. For example, my mobile is of different screen size. My laptop is a different screen size. My brother's mobile is of different screen size. So when you develop a web page, it has to be looking good in all the pages. For example, let's say I'll go to some category. Okay, so this is a GUI thing. Okay, I'll go on inspect. Yeah. Okay. See, if you're watching GUI in a Pixel 2, this is how it will be. Okay. Let's say if I watch it in iPhone X, this is how it will be. Okay. If I watch it in iPad Pro, this is how it will be. Okay. If I watch it in Moto 4, it will be like this. Okay. This is called responsive web design. So your site has to be responsive for all the cases. Okay. For all the different places. See, here it is breaking. So you can't go and cover all the different categories. Okay. There are some cases which you can break it. It's fine. But majority of the things would be covered, which is the popular stuff would be covered. Okay. All the popular that is decided by your companies. And the same thing, for example, we don't support all the browsers. So we say that, hey, we'll support only certain browsers. We'll ignore certain XYZ browser because supporting them is a waste of time. Okay, like that we design. This is more of a thing decided by your company. If they ask you to develop, there is no other choice you have to develop. Okay, so this is called responsive web design. Here the Bootstrap comes in. Okay, so okay, the responsive is done. When I click something has to happen, right? That is where you have to use Angular or React. So in GUI we have our own framework. So we are, in a way, we are a little arrogant. So we didn't go for Angular or React. We created our own framework. Okay, it's called Steroid. We have created and we started using. Okay, so that is all about your responsive web design. Okay, the next part is backend. One second. Yeah. So the next part is backend. So in the backend, there are two parts. One is the server part, as I said. Another one is a database part. So it talks to each other and it gets the data and validates. So when it comes to backend, generally people start with uh, if you are a Python guy, you will use Flask or Django. Okay. If you are Node.js, that itself is a proper server. If you are a PHP, you will use a lot of frameworks. Symfony is there. I forgot the names. Okay, there are frameworks are there. If you are in Java, Jersey is there. Spring Boot is there. Okay. If you are in ASP.NET, Play is also there. If you are a ASP.NET guy, by default ASP.NET will be good enough to play around it. Okay, like that it is. So these are the backend parts which comes into play. Okay, so if you are, I mean, I'm not a front end guy. I belong to the back end guy because I can write any amount of logic, but being creative in terms of design is a little harder. So I don't need to design, but meticulously pointing out is a little harder for me. Okay, so it is always your choice. You can be a front end developer, you can be a back end developer, you can be a full stack developer. Okay, it doesn't, choice is always yours. You don't need to pick it. So as you learn, you'll know it. Okay, if you see here, so this is a job description. So one of the job description, we are looking for passionate and creative developers who are excited to solve new problems. Okay, they are not forcing you to be expert in all the stuff. Okay, see, as a full stack developer, okay, you will work from everything from front end HTML, CS, JavaScript, and server side C Sharp, and data stored in SQL Server, Redis, all those things, Elasticsearch. Okay, and if you see this line, we don't expect you to know everything coming in. Okay, we'll pair you with the mentors, will help you to grow your develop your skills. So all they want is developers who are excited about solving problems. As a developer, our primary role is to solve a problem, not to showcase ourselves. Okay, if a company asks for a problem, we have to give a solution. That is our primary role. For that, we can learn any tools. We should be ready to open to learn any tools. So today it could be React, tomorrow it could be something else. Okay, Amazon might come up with another framework and it could be a popular thing as well. Okay, so in general, this is how people expect you to be a full stack developer. So you have to learn the dev tools, you have to learn the front end thing, you have to be familiar with the agile design. All those things are slightly, you can skip it. Majority 1, 2, and 3. So these three items you should be familiar with. Other things, if you are not, it's good. Okay, and this is a trend of languages. So in that, two popular languages which is in the top are Python and JavaScript. Okay, so Python is getting popular because of two reasons: A and ML, and it is also getting into web as well. But in the web, the undisputed king is JavaScript. Right now, it is JavaScript. Okay, we don't know what it is going to come in after 2 years, 3 years. But as of now, for the past 20 years, it was JavaScript. Okay, so what is a job scenario? That's the next question. Okay, so typically, there are a lot of growth which has happened in the last 1 month, not 1 year or 2 years. I would say it's not 1 year, it's 2 years. So whenever the pandemic came in, so all the people are sitting in the online. So every company needs someone to sit and develop the particular product offline, from offline to online. Whatever you've used in offline, right now is getting everything into online. So the naturally the demand for the full stack developer or a mobile app developer is getting crazy. Okay, this is not driven by any person; it is driven by the system or the nature itself. Okay, so this is the right time to get into the game as a developer, and this is average salary. Okay, so the salary distribution is this, and this is average salary which is getting it. The next thing is like where to get started. Okay, so this is one good place. I like this roadmap, front end roadmap. You search it, it is available. Somebody's blog, I saw that. Okay, so that's one of the good places, but it is too heavy. You don't learn even for a small fever, you will be treated as a cancer patient. Okay, the same thing happens in the development as well. Okay, so take care of it. You need to cover only certain things. For example, I'll show what are the things you need to cover. So this is for example, GUI.in. If you go on type Zen, you should be able to get into this page. Okay. So in that, if you come in here, these are the things which you need to develop right now. Okay. So go and pick and learn these items. Okay. Instead of React, if you want to pick, you can pick something else. And for backend, you can do these items. How to deploy in a web server, how to do it, all those things. And a little bit on scalability and a little bit on building your portfolio. This becomes a key thing. Okay. So nowadays people are competitive. So the current batch or the current generation is too competitive. Okay. So you need to showcase yourself. Okay. You need to build your dev profile. Okay. So for that you need to do projects. So like this, like you don't need to go and create a new project. All you need is go and replicate what is existing. Okay, you can pick any project and replicate. For example, replicate a Gmail UI, replicate a Instagram, okay, replicate a YouTube. YouTube gives a API. Get the YouTube API and then try to build a new front end for YouTube. Okay, Spotify gives a API. Try to build a front end for Spotify. Try to build a Google Docs. How do you do a Google Doc? Okay, so all those things are there. So if you learn all those things, it will be good. Okay, whenever you learn, try to build apps and then do it. So in GUI, what we do is we do it in 3 phases. One is pre-bootcamp phase. This is before you get into the actual full stack development. Then the bootcamp phase, which is around three months or 5 months, depending upon the weekdays or weekend. Okay, then the last phase, the placement phase, where we guide you in terms of building your portfolio, mock interviews, and other things. So in the pre-bootcamp phase, like we try to teach you the first part, which I said, help you to visualize. Okay, we do a little bit of gyan in terms of getting started with JavaScript, so that you can go and learn JavaScript in a better way. Okay, you can go and solve problems in CodeKata. I'll show what CodeKata is. Okay, so as I said, right, like you need to go and solve problems in CodeKata. These are problems. Okay, so you can start with basic problems, small problems, and start solving it online. You don't need to set up anything. So all you need is log in and solve it. For example, let me pick easiest thing. Like let's pick JavaScript. Where is JavaScript? Here it is. No, I don't want to keep. Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing, and I want to print. Let's say hello from. Okay. So let me give an input. Input is GUI. Okay. I run the code. So my expect is hello from GUI. That's what I have done it here. Okay. There is a template which will come for you so that you can go and write your code and then first play around with it. So as a beginner, try to reduce all your friction. Okay. That is what we are trying to help you here. So more the friction is reduced, you can focus more on your logic. Okay. Rather than fighting something else. Okay. Even if you make a mistake here, let's say I am purposefully making a mistake here. Okay. If I run it, so it will show the error. So it says that I have an error in line 18. Okay, line 18. See here, line 18. Okay. So in the line 18, I purposefully deleted it. Okay. If I do it, if I do a run code, it will give it. So this is a level of help which you get it without depending on anyone. So I had my friend. Not everybody will get a friend like mine. I was lucky. Okay, so you can go and solve all the problems. So here we have company related problems as well. Okay, you can go and solve those problems also. Okay, for Zen alone, we have picked a certain set of problems. Okay, so Zen itself is having a lot of problems. Okay, so these problems will help you to focus only on the problem solving. This is what you do it in the phase one. Okay, I assume this is one, right? Yeah, here it is. So in the pre-bootcamp phase, you will be playing around with it. So you will have basic fundamentals and other things. So after that, assuming you know a little bit syntax about JavaScript, if you know well more, it is always welcome. So the assumption is you know a little bit on JavaScript, you have solved certain set of problems, and then you get into the actual bootcamp phase. The bootcamp phase will start with the basics. So we assume that you don't know anything about web, you don't know anything about HTML, you don't know anything about CSS. The only thing which we assume is you know something about JavaScript or the basic programming. That's all. That is the only assumption we take it. Rest of the other things, we assume that you are zero in that. So whatever I said in the front end, like HTML, CSS, HTML5, CSS3, Bootstrap, or React, all those things, we assume you are a beginner. No, even though you might know something, we assume that you are a beginner because we have to make the level playing field even for everyone. Okay, so that's how we go for it. And in the 3 months, we teach several things. So during that, we help you to build the apps and other things. And finally, we help you to connect with the company so that your ideal dream of helping your family would come true, or switching your career will come true. Okay, so that is how it is. Okay. So next question is, can you complete 9 days? Yes, it is technically possible, but you have to dedicate yourself a lot. So make sure that is important. Okay, without putting an effort, don't expect results. Okay, as a developer, that is one of the things which you should always keep in mind. So what you give is what you get. Okay, sit more, and we'll have a dedicated mentors who will be able to resolve your queries through mail. So the purpose we ask you to write in mail is like we want you to improve your mail communication as well. Okay, so that is the primary thing. After writing the mail, you can get into the call like a Zoom or Google Meet or something, and then get it resolved. That is also possible. Okay, so this is how it will go on. Okay, if you are interested, feel free to share whatever you want to share. Okay, guys, Ashok or Vishnu or whoever wants to take it, please take it from here. Okay, I'll wait for the questions and other things.
Sir, the quiz has launched. We have a polling now.
Okay. Guys, start with the polling part. Like, okay. The polling is getting high. I love it.
So do you want to learn basic programming as the first question? Second, we have, do you want to learn full stack development?
Okay. So there are some people, around 6 people who are not interested in full stack development. There's nothing wrong. As a developer, you should always have a choice. 7 people are not, 8 is. Okay. Around 187, 188, 190, 192, 194.
The polling will be ending like in 40 seconds.
Oh, we crossed 200. So 200 people are interested. Okay, good, cool. 209. I think we should do a basic programming session also. Programming learning session also.
Definitely. So, okay, that will be our polling. Okay, sir, you would like me to share the results?
No issues. I mean, I think this is the only poll, or like, do we have other polls?
This is the first one.
All right. You can move on with the next poll. You can save this and then share it. Like around, I mean, I'll read out like, so around 220 people are interested in full stack development. In around, there are some people who even not even voted for either of the categories. Okay. What is the next question?
No, sir, that is the same one.
Okay.
So, guys, this is the first polling. And it is the same question.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes,
we have only one poll.
So okay.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Ashok, is there any questions which is asked by the people?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So they are asking how much is the course fee and the course details.
Okay, course details, you can find it in this one. Okay, so in this place, GUI.in, Zen, everything would be here. You can download the syllabus also. All those things are here. Once you register, you will be able to get the fees as well. So there will be a person who will be calling in, and then they'll directly talk to you about what it is, all those details.
So one more doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have. So one more question is like, if one person starts learning a new program, Do they need to learn everything in one go, or practice less, or get a grip on the core and do more practice?
The second choice is the best choice. So focus on certain things and then get a grip, then move on. Okay, don't try to be a jack of all trades. Okay, you try to be master of certain parts. Okay, probably first step would be like a try. See the levels where I want to you to, if you're a new guy, so learn what is a variable. Okay, that is the first step. Second step is to learn little bit on loops and conditions. Okay, where because in life you can't skip that part. Okay, the third thing is arrays. Okay, learn a little bit on arrays. Again, fourth part is JSON. Okay, if you learn these four parts, that's more than enough for JavaScript. The same thing you can translate to any language. For example, if it is a Python, it will be instead of JSON, we call that as a dictionary. So to that level, it is good enough. So that if you in the syntactical part, these four are good, but in the logical part, you have to practice more. That's where the code kata comes into play. More problem you solve, it is always good.
That's
Thank you,
great, sir.
Sir, guys,
Uh,
there might be issues regarding the chat. So it is, yeah, I think we have another question, sir.
Yeah.
Mohammed would like to ask, being a mechanical engineer with 4 years of experience in the same domain, IT industry even consider to work for their organizations. So as a, I have no experience or education of computer science. So from mechanical background, he's
Okay.
jumping into technical after 4 years of experience.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. The answer is like yes, definitely you can switch over. We have seen people who have switched over from mechanical to this, even bio students, civil students who have switched from their current career to which is non-IT career to a IT based career. That is definitely possible. So there is no doubt in that. But I always give a warning to the people who wants to switch over there. The warning is you should be interested in learning programming. Don't jump in because somebody is pushing you. Okay, don't join like at another engineering college. Okay, it should not be like that. Okay,
Right.
if you love it, do it, or else don't. Forget about loving. You don't need to love it. If you like it, do it. Loving is the extra word. If you like it, do it, or else don't. Right now, at least you have a choice to make it. So make the choice wise.
Okay. So I hope, guys, you are much clear about, like, this is a generic question. A lot of you would like to continue your interest from what you have done from your UG degree and the domain that you're currently working. You are pitching into the IT industry, and this would definitely help. As Sir said rightly, you guys, if you're interested, you can actually go for it, no matter how many years of experience you have in any other domains. So, sir, they are asking, like, we have one of the candidate student who's asking, like, starting learning Python, then what is the next thing that they would like to learn?
And I would suggest you to learn JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript or Python, both are good enough. Okay, the reason why I'm suggesting JavaScript is you might have seen the full stack development, right? In full stack development, front end there is nothing else, only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So front end you have to learn JavaScript. When it comes to back end, you have Node.js, and when it goes to the database, you have MongoDB. All these three items align for the MERN stack completely aligns with the JavaScript stack, JavaScript language. So you should be very good or strong in JavaScript. And JavaScript is also one of the easiest language in the world. So far, I've seen three languages just absolutely easy. One is Python, another one is JavaScript, another one is Ruby. These are Ruby is, I don't know whether now it's popular or not. Previously, it used to be Ruby and Rails used to be popular. But right now, JavaScript and Python are the good guys who can help everybody to become a programmer. Okay, so get started with JavaScript. So that is the first thing, JavaScript, and a little bit of for consoling yourself, go and play around with a little bit of HTML and CSS so that you will feel the comfortness.
Okay, thank you, sir. So here, Harsh would like to say, like, as you already have addressed this kind of question, he's asking, like, in the programming language, he knows basics of C. So apart from that, being a first year student, what are the things that he can look before he completes
Okay,
his
first
engineering?
year students mean then yeah, first year means that I'll suggest you to go in depth in C as well as C++ or any of the OOPS languages. Okay, so learn programming paradigms. Don't get stuck with the languages. Okay, for example, learn functional programming. Okay, learn object-oriented programming. You can learn object orientation in any language of your choice. Even Python, you can have object orientation. You have C++ to do object orientation. You have Java to do object orientation. You can do C# to learn object orientation. Learn the programming paradigm as a fresher first year. Okay, start with C. C absolutely gives you the complete in-depth about the systems. For example, how memory is allocated, how structure and union are different, why union is there. Okay, where the malloc goes on. All those things you'll learn in C. Okay, C is the best. Okay, I'm not. It doesn't mean that it is mandatory. Okay, without C also you can learn. Okay, uh, since you have said C, I'm following with any one of the object-oriented languages. Then go and learn any one of the functional programming languages. So if you start with the language side, these are three things. But that doesn't help you to go to the next level. The next level is build something on top of it. So if you are building, you build some mobile app or web app. Start with the web app. That would be easier stuff. Okay. Start with the MERN stack app or mean stack app. Okay. And then go ahead and try to deploy that in a live session. Okay. When I say live, put it in any one of the servers and then try to run it. So that will be a good thing. What application to build it? For example, you can build a simple application for your attendance tracker in your college or in your thing. Okay, or even your note stacking in your class, you can do it. So like that you can apply like your Evernote kind of system in a web-based stuff. You can build it and save it and then use it. So those are the options which you have it. Okay, first is you learned one language, now learn programming paradigms, then start building apps. Okay, web apps I said, or mobile app also. This is a phase you should proceed.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have one of our candidate who's asking like, if a person has a few years of experience in one technology, and if he or she wants to move to full stack developer, web developer role, what are the things he or she should compete with the experienced web developers when getting a job without compromising on the salary part?
You can't compete. I'm saying that directly upfront. You can't compete with a 5-year experience or 2-year experience. But where your experience will come and help you is the speed at which you learn. Okay, that will help, and the processes which you have learned in the other things. For example, savings. Let's assume you are some developer, like a C# developer, or like any one of the developer, or even forget about, you don't need to be a developer. You might be in networking, or you might be in something else, some domain where admin and other things, where you are completely not into programming. Okay, uh, where you can go, you should compete with the fresher, not in terms of salary, in terms of skills. Okay, salary, every company will respect you because so no matter how many years of skills you have, how many years of how skilled you are, they have their norms. So they'll try to fit in you within their norms only. You can't escape from what is given by the company. So the company will define what is the range in them. So from there you can fit in. But in the competency level, don't try to beat yourself by comparing yourself with 4-year or 5-year experience in full stack development. You should go and compare yourself with a 2-year experience. Why 2-year? 1 year you have learned something about the systems and process in your existing thing, and the second year is counting for what you learn in the Zen class, where you learn how to deploy something, how to build something, how to move forward, how to do a scalability. So all those things will be there. Okay, so that is where you can be better. You can be better than a 2-year or a 3-year experienced programmer, because your experience matters there a lot in terms of expanding your vision and understanding of the web technologies which you are going to get in, like a MERN stack or mean stack or whatever it is. Okay, that's how you should view it.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have, the crowd we have here are most of them are from non-technical or something that is like not relevant to IT sector. So here we have one of our person, Praveen, who's asking like he's from BSc chemistry and he is interested in full stack development. And he's also interested, but he doesn't know any programming language enough. So as an absolute beginner, what is that he can begin with?
Okay. So BSc chemistry, I actually I'm scared of you, man, because
He
one of the
wants to
toughest
know
subjects.
if he can become an full stack
No,
developer.
no. The one of the toughest subject in my life is chemistry. If you can learn chemistry, you can learn programming very easily. That is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So till date, I'm scared of chemistry. Okay, especially balancing the equation. So if you can balance the equation in a decent way, you can write a code just like that. Okay. So learning coding is not a hard thing, because I've seen kids learning coding. Like for example, my son learned coding in his third grade. Right now he's in sixth grade. He was able to code. Okay. So coding is not really a hard skill. Okay. Anybody can learn. Okay. The only thing where the trouble comes in, thinking logic. Okay. So that is where you differentiate from others. Okay. Syntax learning is nothing. All you need is 1 week of time. Okay. 1 to 2 weeks of time, depending upon the person who sit with or where you learn from it. So 2 weeks you can learn syntax, but the logic building part is absolutely very specific to you, because nobody can come and change your thought process. Okay. We can give inputs or tweak inputs to create, do thinking logic, but we can't feed you the thinking logic. That is where you need to practice. Okay. If you practice more, you can do better. So start with JavaScript or Python, whichever language you are preferred, you prefer. Okay. Then go ahead and solve problems in CodeKata. CodeKata is the best place. CodeKata start with input output. Okay. And then there are some levels, like if you solve the first three things, you can't solve all the problems. So you solve at least 10 problems in math, array, and strings. You should be comfortable enough to get into any programming line. After that, learn whatever is needed. For example, to getting into the Zen class, you need 10 programs solved in input, output, math, and arrays. Okay, and strings, MAS. Okay, input, output, you have to solve everything. There is around 19 or 20 problems. That is one thing. Second is math, array, and string, MAS we call this. If you are able to solve 10 problems in math, array, and string, you are absolutely good enough to get into the programming thing.
Sir, actually, that person was also asking, like, once if they start, I mean, he's interested to do and he starts, but later on, when he's not able to complete the program, so he becomes a little low and he thinks like if he can actually do.
That is not your problem, and that's everybody's problem. Okay. So everybody in the world has the same problem. Okay. That too, even an experienced developer, you might, I don't know whether you see the memes or not. You go and search developer memes. Okay. So one of the popular memes is like, I don't know why it is not working. Okay. The same way after 10 minutes, he'll say that I don't know why it is working. Okay. So this is a very popular meme. Just go and Google it. You will get it. Okay. We assume that we are the only guy who gets stuck, but no matter what it is, everybody gets stuck in programming. Okay. So when I went into a startup, they gave me a beautiful idea to overcome this thing. There is something called parrot programming. Okay. So in the startup, we had only 7 people, right? We can't go and disturb others. So what they do is like bring a doll from your home. Okay. Put it next to your desk. Okay. Whenever you get stuck, you just explain whatever you did to the parrot. Okay. After that, while most of the times when we explain to the parrot, we'll be able to figure what is the issues. So I'll tell, hey, first line I did this, second line I did this, third line I did this. So in this component, this is getting in. So like that, I used to, I mean, it might look mad from others' view because we are talking to ourselves. Instead of talking to ourselves, we have a parrot and I'll talk to the parrot. Okay. So I used to have a minion. So I used to talk to the minion, and then when I explain it to the minion, most of the time I'll be able to solve the problems. 95% I'll be able to solve the problem. After that, I'll go and ask my friend if I'm stuck. This is after 7 years of experience, not as a fresher. I did this practice after 7 years of experience where I assume that I am a great VC++ programmer. I've crossed this. After that, I used it because no matter how experienced you are, so there are places where you might overlook the logic. Okay, or you might get stressed in the process. Okay, it is nothing to do with your skill. It is all about the environment or the situation which you are in. That will blind your thought process. So to unblock it, that is where you need a parrot programmer, which is nothing but a doll. Okay, so try to use that technique. It will help it.
That was cool. I never thought there is one such trick like this. So we have one of other student who is like studying in 12th standard. He would like to know what is the language that he should start with, because he's a school going guy. So
okay, so should I tell my favorite or should I tell which is easy? That is my confusion. It's not about the picking the language. It's
Okay.
about what I should project. So my favorite is always C. Okay, but I'm not recommending that as a thing. If you want to learn, go and learn C. Okay, because you are a 12th grade. Okay, so you can get it. You have time to make mistakes. Okay,
Cool.
but if you don't want to make mistakes, but you want to learn comfortably, go and learn Python. Okay, because nowadays Python is becoming a standard stuff. Learn Python and get it started. So that is the session which I give it to you. My preference is C, but if you want, pick Python.
So we have, sir, I think Gokul, that would have answered your question. We have one of the candidate who's asking like, ma'am, is there any information? Okay, they are very much interested about the Guinness World Record that we have done. So
Okay, that information probably you can get it from the other teams. Okay,
sure, sir,
so
sure,
send
sir.
a mail to cs@guvi.in. Whatever information you wanted, you can get it. CS
Sure,
customer success at guvi.in.
sir.
They'll
So,
be able
sir,
to help.
we have another question. The person wants to learn full stack development from the teacher to suit whatever is suitable for him to become a full stack. So, from the teacher to this full stack, will it suitable for me? I'm not getting his point, but still.
It
So,
should be say. Don't assume that something is not suitable for you. Okay, so
so
this is yeah.
he's asking, can Zen help me bagging good CTCs? I mean, guys, CTC part and all, it is always there. Best can always be provided in the market. The only thing is the learning interest that you have. So over to that, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions?
And we have, okay, sir, I have watched a video on HTML, but I don't know how this HTML is related to Python. That was from.
Sorry, HTML is nowhere related to Python.
So that was question from.
See, Python, why I gave Python is to get it yourself comfortable. Think like Python is your when you learn cycling. Okay, there is a cycle for kids where you have two wheels, right? Riding wheels in the side. So Python is that kind of language. Okay, it will make you so comfortable, yeah, so that you will not hate programming. People hate programming because of syntax errors. Okay, Python has less syntax error. It doesn't say that it doesn't have errors. It has errors, but it has less syntax errors. That is the only difference. That is why if you are getting started with programming, start with Python.
Okay.
That's all. There is no relation between HTML, CSS, and Python.
So here we have a lot of questions. So what is Zen class? If somebody is asking, I mean Akbar.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Akbar should probably go into our website, and it's like.
No, I'll explain that as well because that will be easier.
Yes.
So Zen class is a intensive boot camp. Okay. When I say boot camp, daily you will have to spend around 2 hours of your daytime learning with us. Okay. After that, we'll give a lot of assignments. We'll kill you with assignments where you have to go and learn whatever you have done it. So that will be for 3 months or 5 months, depending upon the track which you choose. If you're choosing weekdays, it will be on 3 months. If you are a working professional, where you can't spend 2 hours of time daily, so you pick weekend. So in that, you can go for 5 months and then learn it. So what we do in special in Zen class, like actually whatever we teach in Zen class, you can Google it and learn it on your own. So there is no need for you to come to us. Okay, YouTube has a lot of resources, really good resources. Okay, but where we help you is like we help you to condense and focus on what it is like. So it is like I was telling another joke, right? Like if you go on Google, I am getting cough, you get a result that most probably you'll have a cancer. Okay, so it is like that. So Google throws a lot of things at you. You will be overwhelmed and you will not be able to pick what it is needed. And sometimes if you the mistake would be a basic mistake which could be solved in 5 minutes. Unfortunately, when you're searching on your own, you spend 2 days or 3 days. In the 3 days, you will get frustrated. Okay, that is where our mentors will come and help. So when you get stuck, you write a mail to our mentors. Our mentors will help you out either in the mail itself or get you into a call and then help you out. So this is where we help you on focusing and speeding up your career. Think like it's an accelerated program. So Zen is accelerator full stack program. Okay, where you can learn typically you go and learn, ask anybody to about full stack development. they'll say that it will take 6 months to 1 year to become a full stack developer. Nobody will believe that you will be able to learn something in 3 months. That is where we condense everything and give it to you. And also after learning it, you need to build a portfolio, right? So that is where again our mentors will come in and help you to build the portfolio. Okay, I've built a portfolio, I've learned something. Now I have to go and do a job search. So you can do it on your own. We also have our in-house team which will help you to bring in more companies. So if you get from on your own, yes, that's well and good. If you are not, we'll be able to help you on getting landing in the proper job. Okay, and let's say if you go and get flunked in some one of the interview and you want to know why you got flunked in that interview, you can come back and ask the mentors. Okay, so that is where they'll give you feedback. Hey, this is why you might have failed. Okay, they might not understand, they might not know what happened in the interview, but they can understand from your perspective what could be the reason. Okay, so these are the added advantage which you get in Zen class. Or else if you're a self learner, go and learn in simple directly Google itself. There is nothing stopping you from it. So Zen class is an accelerated program, jam packed with a lot of contents and with mentors to help you out within short period of time and with the end goal of getting a job. So that is Zen class. And you can get it in GUI.in/Zen. So if you go on, you will be able to get that.
Sorry to interrupt. So
Yeah.
since many are asked for Zen class, I'm launching a poll. So if someone is interested in Zen class, please just fill the choose the right option for it. I've launched the poll.
Okay, a lot of people are interested. 30, 50, 60 or 70, 80s, 90s, 100. We have reached a century. 113. 120. Okay. 132, 33. Around 82% of people are interested. Around 18 is not. That's fine. 17. 145. Let's see whether we reach 150. 148, 149, 150. Yes, we crossed
That's a
150.
good count.
Yeah, 150.
So guys, we are assuming like people who have said no already know about Zen class, or they have an idea about Zen class. Thank you for the question, Ashu. Sir, it is going to be 158, so 82%. That's great.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe we will plan something about
It's
Zen
still
class
increasing.
itself next
160, 162.
Okay.
It's still
Okay.
increasing. It might be a network delay, I guess. 163.
Oh, that's there.
Okay. So let them poll it. Like any other questions? 165.
We have a lot of questions, sir.
Please, shoot.
We have Ganesh who's asking, like, being a life pharmacy graduate, having zero knowledge about programming with more integration of technology into healthcare industry. First question he's asking, what types of programming will be required for healthcare industry?
BioPython, you go and check with BioPython. That is one thing which might help you out. Okay. So that is where you can start with it if you want.
And he has another question, how to integrate our clinical knowledge into technology?
Okay. That is where you have to build some web app. Okay. So your knowledge is in certain domain. You have to write the knowledge in some language logic. When I say language, JavaScript or any other language. So when you do it, you'll be able to get it. That's how it is. Let's assume you are good in some DNA sequencing. You can use some language to do match it in a better way. That I'm just guessing it. I don't know what is your day job. So based on that, you can put it.
Cool, sir. So we have a few of questions of which like they already have put in the chat box that they already know about Zen class. I'm happy about that. Cool. So we have another question. Data structures and algorithm will be very important in product company assessment. Does
Yes.
we, do we have, does we have to be trained enough to solve dynamic programming like a data structure programs are asked there? Because this Zen class is more about web development. So he would like to know about the data structure programming that I've asked.
Got it.
Go
So
ahead.
that is, I think, like how would I say, like nitro boost. Okay, in the car movies you might have seen, right? The nitro boost. When you boost it, your car goes flying. Okay, so data structure and algorithm is like that. So without that, also the car will go on. Okay, it will be on the top 3 or something. If you want to get into the top one, you need to add data structures to it. And we also have sessions which is going on data structures, but it depends on your skill. Like it is more of your ability. And if you learn data structure, yes, it is well and good. Like how programming visualization and programming logic is important. The same way, next level of data structures and algorithms is very good. And do you need to be in the level of DP? Yes. If you want to crack the top tier fan companies, you need to be you need to be strong in DP, or else you don't need. Okay, till trees should be good enough, I guess. A tree should be decent enough place to play around, trees and graphs. Okay, but if you want to get into fan companies, yes, you need to learn DP, because there is at least one set of questions which will be on DP.
Cool, sir. Good. Sir, we have another question. Sheikh would like to ask, what is the toughest programming language?
I think toughest.
Probably
I
not for you, sir, entirely not for you,
the
but
same
to
thinking.
a learner, beginner.
I haven't seen anything toughest. Lisp. I mean, Lisp is also good only. It's
Mhm.
no. I haven't seen any, man. Sorry. All the languages are okay. Like most of the things, if you know the programming paradigms, it should be easy enough. Probably the toughest, it's not about the language. Like for example, if you are learning C, if you play with pointers, that's it, you are dead. Okay, that too not in a single pointer. You might have double pointer and you can play around with functional pointers and other things. So that is where you need to. That is one of the challenging stuff. And in C++, I have played with a little bit on generics and templates. That is also toughest thing which I've seen it. Okay, it's not about the language. It's one specific part of the language I've seen a little tougher. Rest of things are cakewalks. Like Java is nothing. C# is easy. Python is kids stuff. Rest of the languages are good.
Sir, so Zen full stack development class is in Tamil or in English? People really had a question here. What
Okay.
language it will be?
The sessions would be in English. Okay, the same level of English which I'm taking. It's not been like a US accent or American accent. A typical Indian accent it will be. But the doubts clarification, you can have it in your native language. The mentals which you have it, like probably you can ask them to solve it in your native language, because that is where you are really need help. Okay, you guys are decent enough to observe this level of English, because right now everybody watches all the web series, so the English should not be a blocker for you, but the English should be a challenge when you are stuck. Okay, that is where we do it in the native language. When you talk to the mentor, yes, you can talk in your native language. That's absolutely fine.
Good, good, sir. Guys, if you have a direct question that you would like to ask, sir, you can raise your hand. I'll unmute you, and you can carry on with the question. So we have another question, sir.
Yeah.
We have actually a lot of questions coming back and forth. So they're actually thanking you for all these responses and questions. One was asking if 3 months of this duration for this full stack developer course, will it be enough? Is it possible
No,
to study in 3 months?
it'll not be enough. See, after 17 years of experience, I'm saying still I'm happy to learn more. Okay. So after learning VC++, which I at least considered as the hardest thing at that time, after that I went on learning new things. Okay. So never assume something will help you to go to the end. So there is nothing like end in programming. Okay. So the programming is all about like open river. You go and do and do and do. It'll end up in a ocean. That's all. Okay. So 3 months will not be enough. 3 months is a good start.
Good stuff.
Okay. It's a good start. That's all.
where we can actually have a whole idea of what and all, how this process and all will go, how technology, what are the technologies and where they need to concentrate to learn, and what is
Yeah,
their area of interest, that too. Sir,
yeah.
can we unmute a few of our participants?
Please, until unless they don't kill me, you can unmute.
Yeah, just, uh, so I have asked few of our participants to unmute themselves. As soon as they do, we can carry on, sir.
Sure.
Hi, ma'am. This is Yashar here, Mohammed Yashar
Hi,
here.
Yashar.
Am I
Please,
audible?
please go ahead. Yeah, yeah, you're audible. Please go ahead and
Yes.
ask, sir.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank Arun sir. Arun sir, because of Arun sir only, I had a hope that even I can start it pretty soon. I had the plans of doing it. I was keep on procrastinating on my plans. Actually, I saw Arun sir's video and interview with
Hi.
behind wood teams. So that is
Okay.
why it was the catalytic time for me to join immediately.
Good.
Thank you, Arun sir. And I'm in batch 252, weekend batch.
Welcome, man. Okay.
And I used to tell this to each and every team member, whomever I interact with in GUI. The one major reason to start this course and no without procrastination from my end is Arun sir. I'm
Thank you.
very privileged to have this team. And thankful.
We are
Thank you.
happy actually. Arun sir has taken so much of
Yeah,
initiation towards improving personal life, towards technology knowledge
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
the students, and he has been. You guys should probably know, if you know or not. I'm not sure. He has been taking classes sessions since day one. So probably you guys will be lucky. I think actually you'll be happy if one day sir comes and takes class for you. I hope
Yes,
that
ma'am.
happens.
Yes, I was expecting it to happen in pre boot camp because
Oh, so they were expecting you, because I have heard from a lot of
okay,
students who were saying like they came and they have inquired about full stack development only because they saw your video on YouTube. So
Okay.
they're
Probably
pretty
yes.
I'll try
happy.
to I try to pull my time next time. Okay.
Please
And
do visit. Be there in our classes for at least for 5 minutes so that we can have a
Wow,
good interaction with you, sir.
that's
That's
sweet.
just a
sure,
request.
sure, Arun. I'll
Thank
do
you,
that.
Arun sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just I
Thank you.
don't want to miss the session only. I just logged in quickly because I
Okay.
was practicing in Kolkata. Just because
Okay.
of you were there, as I saw on Instagram page, I didn't
Okay.
want to miss it. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Asif.
Thank you, yes, sir. We have other participants also, sir. Shiva Yogesh, are you able to speak?
Mm, Hello, sir.
Yes, Vivek.
Sir, this is Vivek from Delhi.
Yes, Vivek.
Sir, my question is, which is best for web development, Python or JavaScript? Because in Python we have Django and Flash, and in JavaScript we have React and Node. So, can you tell me?
JavaScript. The reason is very simple. I mean, Django is easy. I love Flask. Okay, but number of job openings is higher in React and Native, React and Angular and Node. That is the only reason.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vivek. Anyone else able to speak? So we have a lot of questions. Which type of skills we need to get as to earn and get a good opportunity? Skills.
That's what skills is. That's what I showed in the PPT, right? The front end and
Mhm,
back end thing.
mhm.
So those skills are the one. You go to Zen web page, you'll have all the skills which is needed. So we have listed there. That is more than enough. You can find all the details there.
Okay. So I think, sir, we have come to the end of the session. It's 6:30 already, and thank you so much, guys, for participating. And sir, anything that you would like to talk about or give them a last
Nah,
piece of information or ideas?
no, I'm good. Like, so I've given enough advices so for the day. So let them have the happy weekend.
Okay, I think one of the person was about. Okay, thank you so
Also,
much,
sir,
guys.
we have reached double 100 in the board.
Yeah, 2 and 2, 2 and 3. Wow, that's good.
Good.
That's good.
Thank you, Ashok, and thank you, Arun sir, for being such a wonderful guest. You have, I mean, if people are eager to take classes from you, that we have, it's very evident by this session. And
Okay.
guys, Arun sir is a person who is really busy and he keeps up with the company.
I'll
He
try
keeps up.
to pull out some time,
Yeah.
as Yashi said. I'll try to pull out some time and then do it.
It's entirely his passion that he's into mentoring and teaching. So thank you so much, sir, for giving an opportunity here and also accepting the, I mean, request from the candidates. And I hope we had a great session. I hope, guys, you everyone have good idea and understanding how this full stack works and what are the areas that you need to understand and go get into. So hopefully have a great evening and thank you so much again for being a wonderful participant. And thank you, Arun sir. Thank you, Ashok,
Thank you, guys.
for getting it together for this evening.
Sure. Bye-bye.
All the best, guys. Stay safe and always be happy. Don't get yourself depressed in this lockdown time. Everything will gonna be wonderful. So hoping the best for you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.